So in the last class, we actually did the introduction of computer and also functionalities of a computer, how computer works, the advantages and disadvantages. So in this class, we'll be proceeding with actually mainly the applications of computer. So where computers are actually used in real life. Now, the first application I'll be talking about is the business. So in business, actually computer, see these lines, computer has high speed of calculation. Okay, so it can calculate everything so fast with and it has it has diligence. Diligence means it never gets bored of doing the same task again and again. But whenever we are doing our job in an office or as an employee, we get tired sometimes, but computer never gets tired. Then it gives the results with accuracy, and the results are reliable and also versatility. Versatility means their flexibility, you can work. So for example, see, I was taking class from the campus, but now I'm able to take class from here. Okay, so in business also these roles are very flexible. When you are doing things with computers, is very flexible. It doesn't matter from where you are doing the job. So for all these reasons, in business sector, computer has great application roles. Now the sectors, payroll calculation. Okay, so how much the company should pay each of the employees. Then also budgeting, how an organization should complete its budget or calculate the budget. Then sales analysis. Okay, so computer programs, or so suppose there are softwares like Microsoft Excel, you can put the data there, then you can compare. And in Microsoft Excel, you can give some formulas. So for example, I have prepared a Microsoft Excel sheet of the sale of each month of 2019. Then I can compare in between the months sale. I can compare between the sales of each day, and also I can do calculations over the percentage, and I can give my own equation to solve a complex problem within the sales sheet. Okay, so that's how sales analysis are done. Now financial forecasting. Okay, so financial forecasting, so you can actually put your data and you can visualize that data into graphs or barcode, all these things. Okay, then another thing we have is managing employee database. Now employee database, actually computer helps to manage the employee database. So all the employee has their own database. Now for our university, for example, there is a software. Okay, so there is a software working, web software working on the website where you can search your result. Now for us, the teachers, we have our own ID and password. We can give our results according to our subjects and all. Okay, then also maintenance of stocks. We keep the records of everything, our business, through computer. It is possible to keep the records. Okay, so okay, one thing let me show you here. Okay, so see, there is an interesting thing. So this is just a Microsoft Word document. Okay, one interesting thing is here. So there are functionalities like this. If I want to insert some smart art. Okay, so there are several smart arts here. Now you can see. So suppose I want to show some process, or I want to show some categories or some workflow also. Okay, so it is possible to show some workflows here. Now I can represent this data in my own way. Now if I want to do a chart, okay, so see, there are several kinds of charts here. Now these are the actually these are actually given already. You don't need to draw everything by yourself. So see, for stock market, I can use this one. I can use pie chart. Now when I'm using a pie chart, suppose okay, so see, I have used a pie chart here. Now you can see there is a small window for putting the data. Now if I put the data, suppose first quarter I'm giving, so suppose I'm tracking the number of students per course. Okay, so I'll just write the name of the course, then I'll write the name of the number of the students. Okay, so suppose 20, then for several. So one thing you notice here, that the more I'm giving, whenever I'm updating the list, the pie chart will update by itself. Now in the second quarter, suppose I'm changing the value. Now I'm giving the value, suppose 35. Now see, the pie chart, the orange portion has been changed. Now I'm giving, suppose, the value here 4. See, the gray part has changed. So these are the functionalities. These are the simple functionalities that are used in business sector. Okay, next thing we have here is the banking sector. So banking sector is a very important sector where computers are used because online transactions are done, online accounting facilities are also done, and every calculations are done. Actually, every calculations are maintained by a computer. Then we have ATM machines. Okay, you'd be know that in the ATM machines you will see some functionalities only. Okay, so just you put, there will be limited functionalities in an ATM machine, but remember in all the ATM machines actually there are Windows installed. Okay, like our normal PC, the Windows are installed. So they only give some softwares there, particular softwares, particular functionalities are given there for the only those functionalities are activities for the ATM machine works. Okay, but actually it is actually being run by the Windows operating system. Now next thing is insurance. So in insurance companies, the companies, they for SC insurance companies, so what they do, they keep the up-to-date data records and everything, because computer has capability to store huge amount of data. Now they also procedure the policies are processed using the computers. Then starting date of the policies also, these things are maintained. Next due installment, maturity date. Okay, so what happens in insurance, actually you are giving the company some money. Okay, it might be for your home, for your health, or for your life being, or for your education, anything. So insurance companies take your money and also you give some installments. So every month you pay some money to the company, and the company assures you that whenever suppose you are doing an health insurance, so you are depositing money to them every month. Now when you are having suppose a huge surgery, you need a lot of money. So what the insurance companies does, they give you that money back. Okay, or sometimes you may need money more than the money you deposited, so that insurance company actually pay for your surgery. So sometimes it may happen that the money is not utilized by yourself, so it has an ending date, it has a maturity date. So there will be a day, suppose after 14 years or after 12 years, the entire money will be maturated, and you can actually withdraw all your money with some benefits also. So they will be giving some benefits also, bonus and interest due. Okay, so everything is calculated there using the computer. Now next thing, education. In education, computer is definitely playing a great role, because see, even for today our class, all the functionalities are computer are being used to take this class here. Now so one thing here, it is CBE, or we can say computer based education. So computer based education, basically we try to compete, or we try to actually include the education system entirely through a computer. So I'm giving you the presentations, I'm showing you, I'm taking a class with a virtual whiteboard and all, and there will be also online exam, not the exams like we took already, but there will be actually actually developed online system for exams. Now CBE involves control, delivery and evaluation of learning. Then we have graph number of computer students, also computer students. Yes, computer students actually can do anything without computer. Now prepare a database about performance of a students and analysis carried on this basis. So as I showed you the pie chart, okay, so this kind of graphs and pie charts and everything can be used to analyze the students performance data. So I'll give you the result of the students there, and they will give us infographic information and help us to visualize actually what is happening on the performance. Next thing, we have marketing. In case of marketing, we are two sectors as important. One is advertising and another is home shopping. So advertising, in case of advertising, I would say that you see some random ads on your Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Now imagine an ad which doesn't give you any visual information, it just gives some text. So it will be you will feel very bored to watch those ads. But imagine the ad has better graphics quality, it's showing some cartoons or moving hands or something, so it will be very attractive to you. So creating attractive graphics also helps in advertising. Now next thing is home shopping. Home shopping basically is e-commerce. We're referring to the e-commerce. So you are buying something from chaldal.com or also shopno.com or any other Facebook pages. So all these things are actually maintained using computer. Next thing is healthcare. Now in case of healthcare sectors, you see ECG, EEG, CT scans, all these things are actually computerized machines. So in case of medical sector or healthcare sector, computers are having great role to diagnose various kind of diseases. Okay. So the main applications here are the diagnostic system to diagnose the diseases in a patient, then also lab diagnosis system. So all the samples are connected and reports are prepared from the computer. Then patient monitoring systems. So patient monitoring system, you will be seeing if you have seen in real life or in movies that patients are kept in the ward and there will be some heartbeat showing, there will be visualize of the heartbeats and all. Okay, so people are kept in life supports and all. So all these things are actually computerized thing. Then we have pharma information system. So pharma information system, there will be a database to keep the records of all the medicines and what are the effects, side effects, harmful effects, expiry dates, and the number of medicines available in the stock. All these things are maintained in a database or a computer system. Now surgery. Okay, so performing surgery also, in case of performing surgery also, you know, computers are used. So they visualize this. So ultrasonography, you can say. And also in some hospitals, what they do, whenever they're performing surgery in a patient's body, they try to show all the things to the patients, to the relatives or the nearer person of the patients. So they actually put a display of what's happening inside the operation theater, so that the relatives cannot claim anything. Okay. So, and for medical healthcare system, I would say one more thing, that is the IBM Watson that I discussed in the last class, and I asked the students to study more about the IBM Watson. Okay, that thing is also very helpful, because that is a revolutionary thing. That is actually a supercomputer which is capable to bring revolution in the healthcare system. So it is believed that the IBM Watson can actually diagnose complex diseases which even the doctors are not capable to diagnose. Next thing is engineering design. So in case of engineering design, suppose structural engineering, the building budgets, airplane design, ship designs, all these things are done. The 3D modelings are done. Then industrial engineering, okay. So civil engineers actually use the computer aided design, CAD. Okay. Then architectural design also, as I say, 3D drawings, 2D drawings, all these things are done. Now, in case of military, so the military, the army, or you can say Air Force, Navy, whichever, they have applications like missile control, military communication, military operation planning, smart weapons. So all these things are done. Now, you know what, I have few friends from army, so they have completed their graduation as well, so they studied everything what I studied in computer science, but they are keep studying things, so they have to do some complex algorithms, they are doing some maths that are different from our math. Okay, so they are given some maths related to this missile controls, missile communications, all these things, and they do courses after a certain amount of time in their entire career. Now, next thing is communication. So in case of communications, there are the things email, chatting, Usenet, FTP, Telnet, video conferencing. Okay, so FTP, what is actually FTP? FTP means file transfer protocol. Now, when FTP is being used, so suppose I'm giving you the documents of the lecture sheets and everything through using the Google Drive. So what is happening here, I'm actually uploading my files to a server to the Google. Now you are seeing that file from that server of the Google. Now you are not actually seeing the file that is saved in my computer, but rather I'm using some services to show you or to share the file with you guys. So that thing actually is an FTP. Okay, so this is FTP. Then we are having the video conferencing option. So video conferencing nowadays, due to this pandemic situation, every organization is actually moving to the video conferencing thing. Another thing we have here is Usenet and Telnet. Now Usenet is actually sharing forum type of something. So there are discussion forums where you can actually put your own articles or put your own thoughts, like there are Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is a very famous one for the computer developers. So some people actually run some codes. Now they just put, now suppose I'm getting an error that I have no idea, I'll just give my piece of code that I'm seeing this kind of error or something. So the experts will reply or they will comment on the problem, that they will provide us some solutions, and I can also reply them, all these things. So these things are maintained using Usenet. And another thing is Telnet. Telnet helps to communicate between two computers. Now I want to communicate between two computers. So how I can do, you can see one very common software, that is I forgot the name, TeamViewer. Okay, so using TeamViewer you can actually control your laptop using internet from your phone, or I can control your laptop or your desktop if that software installed in your computer using my own computer. So all these things are actually done using the telnet. Next sector we have government. So in case of government, they make the budget, sale tax, then income tax, computation of male female ratio. Okay, then we have voter list, PAN card, computerization of PAN card. So PAN cards, this lecture was actually downloaded from an Indian website, so they mentioned PAN card, but in case of our country's reference, I would say the smart cards. The smart cards contains all the information, your fingerprints, your reading of your eyeballs, iris, everything. So these things are actually computerized. Then we have weather forecasting. In case of weather forecasting, what they do, they take the records of different areas in our locality. Now if I want to search for the temperature at Dhaka, now the temperature of Dhaka, you will see that the temperature of airport area will be lower than the temperature of the Mohammadpur area or Dhanmondi area, because there are several factors that are working. But whenever you are searching in Google that what is the temperature of Dhaka, they will just give you an average results from the readings of the entire locality. Now if you mention particularly that I want to see the temperature of airport area only, you will see that that temperature is actually deviating from the average temperature. Okay, so these all were about the applications of computer in real life. Okay, now we are running out of time actually, so what you will do, you will just join the class again. I'll let you leave the meeting now and you will join the class again. Okay, because we have a 40 minutes limitations. Okay, so students, do you have any confusion up to this portion? No confusion? Okay, very good. Okay, so the next thing we are having here is the generations of computer. Okay, so how computer was first developed, then what are the generations that computer went through till now. So generally, actually we'll be talking about the 5 generation of computers. The first generation was developed in 1946, and from 46 to 59 it was the first computer, and it was actually vacuum tube based. Okay, the second generation was 59 to 65 and it was transistor based. Now what are the transistors? Transistors are basically made of the semiconductors. Okay, so these are the small transistors. If you have studied science in your previous earlier to HSC, then you may know the transistor. Next thing is 65 to 71, we had IC based, integrated circuit. Now your mobile phones are actually IC based. Integrated circuits mean there will be small circuits and all the functionalities are actually the semiconductors, and all the connections and wires are actually integrated on this small circuit. The fourth generation was 71 to 80 and VLSI microprocessor. VLSI, very large, I forgot something S with something integration. Okay, so this was the microprocessor base, and now 82 onwards. So these days the computers that we are using actually the 5th generation computer. Okay, so see, the first generation computer actually looked something like that. Okay, so in our generation, see, a computer is a small device. It might be so my computer is actually, I think, 16.5 inch length, the length. But see, these computers are something very huge. Now data centers look like this nowadays. Then it was very slow, and it generated a lot of heat, okay, and it supported machine language only. Now, interesting thing, when they developed this computer, the first generation computer, it was not possible to do any programming or run any software, okay. It was huge in size, okay. Now it was not portable. Definitely you cannot imagine to move something like this from home to your office. It is definitely not portable. Now, yes, so it supported machine language only. If we are talking about machine language, now computers actually don't understand our own language. Nowadays, whenever I'm typing something, it is first converted into the machine level language. Now, what is the machine language? Computers understand everything in binary. It understands either 1 or 0. So whenever I'm giving any number, or I'm telling any text A, B, C, D, or anything, or an image or video, audio, anything, every data on computer is actually converted into machine language. Everything I tell or I put as an input into the computer, it is actually converted into a series of 0 or 1. Now this is the second generation computer, okay. So it looks smaller than the first one, but it is also it doesn't look so handy at all. Now in this case, it uses transistor and reliable compared to the first generation, okay, but and also smaller to the first generation, generated less it and consumed less electricity. So compared to the first generation, it was actually a little bit improved, but not handy at all. It's still very costly, okay. Now it supported machine and assembly language. Now what is the assembly language? Assembly language is actually, nowadays assembly language is the intermediate language. So whenever we are doing any programming or we are writing any code on a piece of code to make a software or any web development, so what we do, we try to write in our own language. So we write print. So that is actually English word, that is high level language. Now in the computer, that language is first converted into an intermediate language. The intermediate language here is the assembly language, okay. So this second generation computer were actually able to understand the assembly language. So people those days had to do a lot of work to actually run any command on the computer. Now the third generation computer looked something like this. Okay, so something like this. It is actually developed with the better quality and everything got smaller in size, and it obviously generated less heat, more reliable. So compared to the second generation, it was actually improved in many ways. Now see, they have also developed a keyboard in the third generation computer, which was not available in the second generation. Now it's faster and maintenance is less, but it is costly. Now third generation computer actually supported high level language. Now from third generation, actually people try to write the codes. Now if we can observe the programming languages of different era, we'll see the programming language that were developed in further time are more user friendly or more easier to learn, okay, because people have actually found ways to make the computer understand. Computer is a stupid device, it doesn't understand our language. We have to force it to understand our human language. Now fourth generation, some computers look something like this. This is very neat and clear, okay, more developed in every way. And the important addition here is pipeline processing. So what is pipeline processing? Basically what happens, you can do two works or more than one works at a time. That is pipelining. Now how pipelining actually working? So what is happening in pipelining actually? So suppose I have a, oh sorry, so I have to do, suppose, a task that is T1. Now I have a task that is T2. Now I describe a task that is T3. Now I have to do all these three tasks together. Now see, in my computer I am actually running Zoom software, so I can compare it as a T1. Then I am also I'll also showing you the PPT, sorry, the PDF of the lecture sheet that I can consider as task 2. Then I can consider the task 3 as also the screen recording. I am recording everything right now. So there are 3 tasks actually happening at a time. Now what will happen here? The computer, my computer has one processor only, and that one processor is actually processing all the 3 tasks together. Now as a user, I can see that I am doing 3 tasks together, but in computer actually 3 tasks are not being at a time. Okay, computer is not performing all these tasks together. What computer is actually doing, it is actually dividing the processing time to, and it is dividing all its resources to one particular program or one particular task at particular time. So suppose for first second the T1 process has got all the resources and processor. So now suppose it has got all the resources and also the processor. Okay, so in the next 10 seconds suppose T2 is getting it. Now in next second T3 is getting it. Now see here, you can see in the first 10 seconds T2 does not have any resource or processor, and T3 doesn't have it for the next 20 seconds suppose. But the user cannot actually see this thing happening at the back end. They actually give us an illusion that all the 3 tasks are being done together. So this method is actually called pipelining. Okay, so there will be only one resource or processor suppose, so they are actually sharing using the time sharing system, and the user never gets to know that it is actually doing the task. It is actually doing one task at a time, but user thinks that 3 processes or 3 tasks are being done at the same time. Okay, so the 4th generation computer, it is okay, so this was the 4th generation computer. Now next thing is the 5th generation computer, that is our computer right now. So these things, okay, so this all high level languages like C, C++, Java, .NET, all these things are actually integrated in this 5th generation computers. And also see, this generation is based on parallel processing hardwares and artificial intelligence softwares. So these days softwares have artificial intelligence, and also it is capable to do parallel processing. So what happens in parallel processing, there are several cores in a processor. So you will see whenever you are trying to buy a computer or mobile phone, you will see the features. In the features they will mention something quad core. Okay, something like so something you will see like quad core. So what that quad core means, it means there are 4 core available. So suppose you are having So suppose you are having one processor, and that processor has 4 cores, means it has actually 4 portions, or it is divided into 4 portions. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now what will happen here, when one task is given, so this one core will do one task, this another core will do another task. So this 4 cores are capable to do 4 tasks at a time. So that's how computer becomes faster. Now my mobile phone actually is built on octa-core. So it has actually 8 cores. But my phone is built on actually my phone is actually octa-core, but my my PC is actually quad-core. But my phone is octa-core. So definitely my phone is faster than my PC. Okay, so the 5th generation computer looks like something like this. This is actually so they have chosen a very good image. Okay, but the computers in the computer lab of Royal University of Dhaka are also 5th generation computers, but they don't look nearer to any of this computer. Okay, but remember, all the computers right now we are using are actually 4th generation computers, and these are capable to do artificial intelligence algorithms also. Now where artificial intelligence include the robotics, neural network, game playing and all these things. Okay, so one interesting thing is in your phone you will see the Google Assistants, or if you're using an iPhone you must be seeing the Siri, and also in Microsoft or in my PC there is Cortana. Okay, so these softwares are actually artificial intelligence software. They are smart assistant to which can actually respond to you according to your voice. You can do voice search over the softwares. So let me just check if I can show you my Cortana. Okay. Okay, so this Cortana shows ask me anything. I don't know why it is not opening. My god, my Cortana has died. Okay, so it opened. Can I be your assistant? Okay, so it told me to ask me anything. Now tell me the temperature of Dhaka. Temperature of Dhaka.
I'd love to help, but you'll need to update Windows first. You can do that by using Windows Update Assistant.
Okay, so my window is not updated, so Cortana will not help me. But I think if you are using your Android or you are using your iPhone, you may ask your assistant something, they will respond, and your assistant sometimes also are capable to play games with you. They will tell you some jokes also. If you ask her to tell you some jokes, they will tell you some jokes. Those jokes are not even funny. Okay, so these are actually the AI processings that I was talking about. Okay, so these are the now some computer of this generation are desktops, laptop, notebooks, ultrabook, Chromebook. Okay, so these all were for today's lectures. We did two chapters today. One is the applications and another chapter is the generations of computer, how computer developed to the modern day computers. Now, people, do you have any confusion in all this? The thing? No confusion. Okay, very good. So I'll share you the resources in the Facebook group. I'll give you the recordings and also everything in the Facebook group only. Okay.
Done.
Okay, so let me take a screenshot of the attendance. Okay, done. So I've taken the screenshot of the attendance and I'll give you the lecture sheets and all. Okay, so I'll just update the post. Okay, the post where I have given the resources for the first class, I'll just update that post. I'll give only the link. I'll edit that post in the and I'll edit the post with the links, new links. Okay, I'll not give any new post. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so everyone stay fine, stay safe.
Same to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.